Yeah, what are you tough guys doing over there, huh? The coppers are coming. That's my 1940s gangster voice, not very intimidating. Anyway, today we're talking about Gangster Squad on Blu-ray. And by the way, if I was a gangster in the 1940s, I think my nickname would have been Johnny the Lumbotomy. Because, like, I'm missing half my brain. Anyway, Gangster Squad comes from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, and this stars Josh Brolin, who was in The Goonies as a kid in the 1980s, Ryan the Driver Gosling, who in this movie has a very, very odd accent. What are you guys doing over there? You guys want to go over here, huh? He doesn't even talk like that. Nick, the rough-voiced Nolte. Hey, Tommy, it's a real nice thing what you guys did for that boy in that tank. Every time that guy talks on screen, I feel like my throat's gonna just burn on fire. Emma Stone, almost too hot to be true, who plays a club singer in this movie. Just look at her right there. Look at her right there. Shh, not right now, Emma. Anyway, Gangster Squad takes place in the 1940s. It's about a group of LA police officers who kind of have to go outside the rules of law enforcement to get the job done because there's gangsters in the city and they're overtaking everything and turning everything into a corrupt, vile, dirty city. And they're not gonna have that. They're taking back their town. And these police officers take their Tommy guns and spray down the bad guys right in the street because they're not taking that bullshit anymore. Now, one of the best things about Gangster Squad is this is based on a series of true events that actually took place in the 1940s. You had these real police officers who decided, hey, we're tired of the corruption, we're gonna take our Tommy guns. I believe you, baby, but my Tommy gun don't. But sometimes that's what you have to do to vanquish evil, and these guys did it. Now, the movie Gangster Squad reminds me of another movie, and it's very reminiscent in a lot of the same things that they do. It reminds me of The Intouchables from the 1980s starring Kevin Costner. Even some of the characters in this movie are taken straight from The Intouchables. You know, you have like Sean Connery in The Intouchables, who's really good with guns, and then you have Patrick... what's his name? I just call him the T-1000 from Terminator. And you know, he's the guy who's good with guns and shooting. And they took a lot of little things from Untouchables and put it into this movie. Now, this movie's set in the late 1940s, and I've always liked that time period in movies. It just seems like a place where I would want to be at. Like, I would go to the club, I'd wear my little hat and my long jacket, I'd have a Tommy gun in there, and I'd wander around just talking to the broads or the dames, or whatever you want to call them. Now, as far as the movie Gangster Squad goes, it feels a little bit discombobulated for me. You know, I seen the movie in the theater, and I thought that I didn't know if they were going for like a B-rate style movie where they kind of make everything a little bit campy and fun and a little bit corny, or if they were trying to be a little bit serious and dramatic. You couldn't really tell the exact tone that they were going for in the movie. At some points in the movie, it gets a little bit messy and clunky and it starts slowing down a little too much for its own good. And then you have characters in the movie that you're supposed to care about, but when they die, you're just like, oh, okay, well, there's that guy. I didn't know anything about him, but let's have this really dramatic death scene for him. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about with Gangster Squad is there was one very obvious scene where they went back in and did reshoots for it. You know, basically what happened was you had the Colorado theater tragedy where some asshole went into a theater and decided to shoot people because he was having a bad day. But what happened in this movie, they actually had an original scene. If you guys watched the original trailers for the movie, you could see the shootout that happened in a theater. And I understand cutting that and getting rid of that. That's a little too coincidental and might bring up some bad memories. But what they did is they replaced it with another scene in this movie that just doesn't make any sense. And I could understand replacing the scene, but the thing that they put in this movie just does not make any sense at all. Watching it, I was just like, that feels like it was tacked in there. They shot it in 48 minutes on some Hollywood backlot, and it's just not very interesting or good or make any logical sense what's happening in this scene. And to really get in depth with it, I'd have to spoil it for you. But basically, somebody's about to die, but the guy trying to kill the guy actually has a gun in his hand, but he still wants to blow up a car, and he's just watching him trying to make the car blow up. But he literally has a gun in his hand. He's standing 10 feet away from the guy who wants to kill. So rather than just shoot him to death, he sits there trying to blow up the car. Okay, let's check out the special features here on Gangster Squad. Right here you have Play with the Gangland Files. This has Ryan Gosling, Josh Brolin, Emma Stone. They take you on the exploration into the lives of the legendary real-life Gangster Squad and historical trivia. Okay, bringing back Gangster Squad, Ryan Gosling and the cast, the making of the movie. So there's tons of different focus points. There's a short feature, then and now locations. There's commentary. And what is this? A riveting installment profiling the real-life gangster Mickey Cohen. Yeah, so there's definitely a ton of bonus features on the Gangster Squad Blu-ray, yeah? You see there? Okay, that's enough. So visually, the picture quality in this movie looks phenomenal. A lot of scenes in this movie take place during the nighttime, and they'll be out in the streets of LA driving around or shooting people down with their Tommy guns. And the nighttime scenes all hold up very nicely. You have like neon lights in the background from like the club. Everything looks great. Now, as far as the Blu-ray audio goes, it's pretty good. I have no complaints either. When all the machine guns are going off or people are getting punched in the face, it all sounds great. By the way, check out my Grease Lightning t-shirt. Look at this thing. It makes me feel like John Travolta. Ooh, I'm good looking. And then I get my 1950s greaser car and drive off into the sunset and start dancing. Anyway, I picked up this badass Grease Lightning t-shirt from a company called Snorg Tees. I'll put a link down below if you guys like movie t-shirts, things like that. Check it out. Oh, and before I go, I wanted to mention another video I'm working on right now. It's basically how I watch movies. The whole process from start to finish of how I go about watching a movie. I'm making the popcorn, deciding what kind of drink I drink, going down and actually deciding which movie I watch, which is like a 35-minute process, and then setting the mood for the movie, watching the movie. So I'm gonna make the whole video about that. Should be up in the next couple days. It's gonna be very fun. Basically, you're gonna come with me down into my man cave, my manhole, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna dim the lights and we're gonna watch a movie together. So look forward to that. Oh, and by the way, if you have nothing else to do, check out my last video where we talk about Pain and Gain, directed by Michael Bay. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.